Yeah, good morning to my students, 10th classes. Yesterday we learned the first poem, that is Dust and Dust of Snow, written by Robert Frost. It's a small poem, 8 lines. Today also we are going to have a small poem, the same poet, Robert Frost. Yesterday I mentioned about some of the poetic devices. Only I will give details. After this poem I will give some of the poetic devices very clearly. Today we are going to learn Fire and Ice, written by Robert Frost. We already learned about Robert Frost yesterday. He was an American poet born in San Francisco, United States. We come to the poem Fire and Ice. Fire and ice both are very symbolically used by the poet. Fire, very hot. The poet is surmising, predicting the fate of the world. That is what the poet wants to give through the poem Fire and Ice. These fire and ice are the two things which are the reasons to make the world end. Being a poet, he liked the causes to the imperfections of the human nature, bad qualities of the human nature. And he believes and he agrees with these two bad qualities of the human beings, which are the real cause of the end of the world. Fire and ice. He supports both. Some people say fire will be the reason, and other people say ice will be the reason for the end of the world. And the poet supports both groups of people. It is like a debate. Here, fire is symbolic of human desire or passion, greediness, destroying the nature or our needs. So, fire, the word means here in the poem human desire or passion, and ice is symbolic of hatred, a cold feeling towards the feelings of others. And humans have taken full control of the world to satisfy our human needs. For example, we cut trees, pollute the air, water and land just to satisfy, just to get the things we want. We do this without any consideration of what effect it will have on nature. We don't bother about it. We want to fulfill our needs. Whatever things will happen, we people are not bothered. Fire also symbolizes a base passion, and we can say sexual desire, a desire for the continuation of life. If not controlled, can also lead to misery, troubles, and self-destruction. The eyes also symbolizes the hatred that arises out of irrational thinking. Humans, in their bid to know things, their curiosity to know things and gain power, they end up fighting with each other. That is what we see. This has been evident in the world wars. Throughout history, we study about it. So when we come to the poem, we see the poet talks about the two different beliefs regarding the end of this world. He says that he is in favor of those people who say this world will end in fire, and the result is uncontrolled. And the poet brings us into the middle of this argument between those people who think fire is the reason, and other people say ice is the reason to finish this world. But he supports both. Let us come to the poem. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice, 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 coldness. Here the end of the world is, we all people will one day the world will end. Judgment will be there, last judgment. All the religious texts say about this. There can be a natural calamity which will take place on earth, like volcanoes, forest fires, or ice age will finish this world. It can also the reason of man-made destruction because of man's greed for power. That sounds not totally worse. We could say that simple mistake of a person, the leaders of the countries, lead to the collapse of the world. So the poet has demarcated, put forward two beliefs. They are the reason of this destruction. So we come to the second stanza. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire, but if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. First, Robert Frost, the poet, supports those people who are in favor of fire and think that fire is the reason, will be the reason for the end of the world. He says that those people who are left, the rest of the people who are in favor of ice, poet supports them also. That's why he said, from what I have tasted of desire, what I have tasted of desire. Desire is considered as a metaphor here. Isn't it? Desire, a food. That means the poet knows what it means to have desires. From his knowledge and experience of this feeling, he says that if we think twice, ice will be also the reason to finish the earth. He agrees. Desire can be a cause of destruction, one cause of destruction that I already mentioned: desire, passion, or it is used in reference to the animal tendencies in human being, in us. Now, these emotions, hot emotions, are very dangerous. The desire can be ambitious, aspirations, greed, lust, etc. Lust for power, greedy for power. Many meanings this word fire has. We do a lot of mistakes, we do a lot of sins. Animals are far better than us nowadays. You said in another poem, we will learn later. Human beings dropped all the good qualities, and the animals have picked them up, and they possess all the human qualities now. That is what is happening. We do not see the feelings of others. We do not understand it. We try to harm other people, animals, plants, or nature. We go blindly everywhere without seeing, without considering the feelings of others. We want to fulfill our needs, satisfy our needs. This too much lust for power and desire, we forget about our fellow beings, we forget about our nature. So he says here, from what I have tasted of desire, what experience he has on desire, I hold with those who favor fire. I support. The poet says that it is true that fire will be the reason of the end of this world. But if it had to perish twice, he is giving a second chance. Still, some life is left on the earth after destroyed it with fire or by fire, the rest of the people will die. The rest of the world will end due to this ice. That is what he says. That means the poet is in favor of both group of people. It is just like a debate. He supports. He is on the side of those who are with the fire and who are with the ice. Come to the third stanza. I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also a great and would suffice. I think I know enough of hate. Now come to ice. Ice means hatredness, cold mentality towards our fellow beings, coldness. So I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice enough. Ice is also enough to destroy the rest of the world. The rest of the world means after fire destroyed everything, the rest of the people still remain. The rest of the destruction will take place by ice. That's why the poet also experienced here the negative feelings like a hatred, cold mentality, ice. We don't know what kind of people are there in our neighborhood. We don't see the cries of those people, poor people. The people who are around us. He himself says that we all have this bad quality. So, everybody knows that. What will be the effect if we are firing at somebody else? If we are hating one another? What will be the reason? What will be the effect? We all know that. But once we become selfish, we think only about ourselves. And we don't care about anybody else. So, why destruction by ice is followed by the destruction of fire? Let us understand that. We have a rage. It's a feeling, hot feeling. Then it controls you, it feels in you. And finally, we don't know what is happening around us. We don't know. We become indifferent towards others, uncaring, and we are away from, devoid of all kinds of positive feelings because we are filled with the bad feelings. So this ice of hatred, symbolic of hatred, destroys the good qualities, the humanity in us. It is said that if love is lost, everything is lost. And this is the great reason of ending this world. It leads to a great damage, great disaster. I repeat again, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Would suffice. Would suffice means that it frightens us and makes this hatred feeling, finishes, stops all other feelings of yours, and it destroys our sense. This poem makes us think very deeper about our negativity. We should not we should not possess such negative qualities. We get into ourselves, introspection, get into or search our mind. What we can learn from it is that keep our human qualities alive. We should stop having these angry, greedy, lust, and such kind of hatred feelings in ourselves. And desires can be controlled by being satisfied and by being happy with what we have. Now, in this corona pandemic situation, I think we controlled everything. No accidents take place because people stopped riding their vehicles. No marriage ceremonies. So we can control, but we don't do that. We fear about our life. We go out. This will happen or that will happen. So we have to be, the lesson this poem teaches us that we have to be satisfied with what we have. This feeling will control other bad qualities in us and keep loving our fellow beings. Love your nature. Love animals. We should not be cruel to animals. We want to spread the religious hatredness, the venom of hatredness, poison of hatredness among our fellow beings. So, we complete this poem, read the poem once again and go through it. Now, whatever doubts you have, you can clear it. Now, about every poem, when you read it, you try to write the summary yourself, the message what it gives. Message I already told you. The poem begins in delight but ends in wisdom, fire and hatredness. The world will end in fire or in ice. The question arises in our mind. The poet does not give his opinion. He supports both the things. Both can be the reason. Two contrasting ideas. One is fire, contrasting ideas. One is fire and the other one is ice. Both can destroy us and the world. So, love, brotherhood, tolerance, peace, contentment, sensitivity, and generosity among people can make this world a better place to live in. Possess these qualities. Read the poem again and again. Write the whole summary. Learn. First take the ideas. When the school reopens, I will ask about each poem. Okay, today's session we finish here. Tomorrow I will explain some of the poetic devices, figures of speech, alankar, what we say. Every poem has some poetic devices. The rhyme scheme of this poem is A, B, A, A, B, C, B, C, B. 3 lines each there. I will explain to you in the next class. Thank you. Wishing you All the best. Stay all